Lately my thoughts got me distant. Darker days filling up darker minds. Stuck in this room that keeps spinning, wondering how you been, where you hide. Late night drinking, wishful thinking, what if you were here? Morning waking, heart still aching, something about the way you make me feel. I don't wanna mess up your night, I don't wanna put up a fight, I don't wanna trouble you, babe, but I gotta say, I don't wanna waste no more time trying to shake the feelings inside.
Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
Cut it off! Cut it off! I am having a very bad day. I am in no mood. This, today, is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time. I'm not in the mood to play with anybody. I mean, damn it! I'm ticked off!
Happy Taco Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all well. Hope you're all staying safe. Hope you all had a great day today. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope the work week's off to a great start for you. Hope you're all staying dry. It's been a crazy few days with this weather, raining. Hopefully tomorrow, thank God it ends. But this is episode, I lost track, 6 of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Your host, Nathan Snell. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I would like to say up front. I want to continue to send my thoughts and prayers to those that were affected by Hurricane Ian. Also, too, want to send my thoughts and prayers out to a couple legends. Coolio, rest in peace. Loretta Lynn, Queen of Country, rest in peace. And also PB and Rock, rest in peace. And I'll save my final message. I'll save that towards the end. But couple things that are coming down the pipe. Be actually on the lookout for a WNBA off-season guide for all 12 teams, as we are now in the off-season, and pretty much most of the ladies are overseas. So I wish them all a successful season, stay healthy, and I will hope to see them in the spring when they come back. To be able to look out for that, college basketball is upon us soon. The Maryland football, Maryland versus Michigan State recap, I'm going to hold that off until tomorrow. I'm going to recap that tomorrow, about probably tomorrow morning around a certain time, so you can look out for that. But in this video, we are painfully recapping the Baltimore Ravens. Chatting with common sense. I appreciate you. Thank you. I had a great day. Hope you had a great day too. I do appreciate you. We're recapping the Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills beat the Baltimore Ravens 23-20.
What was that? What the hell was that? I'm sorry the H words and the D words aren't appropriate over the airways, but it's going to be today. I don't know how much more of this I can take. How in God's name?
The Baltimore Ravens are 0-5 at home. And those 5 games, we have lost a game by 3 points or less. I felt as though we had this game in the bag. I thought we did all the necessary things to win this game. By all means, I'll start with on Buffalo side. If you're Buffalo, I think you did all the right things. The first half, the defense did not look all that spectacular. But the fact that you contained the Ravens the entire second half to 0 points and mustered less than 130 yards in the first half. Buffalo regrouped after the turnovers. I thought that the key was defense. Josh Allen, by all standards, did not have a Josh Allen-like game. I want to make that. I think that's fair to say. I mean, I don't want to say weather was a factor, but you could see as the game was going, you could see some frustration, but they regrouped. I just think that just the turnovers were the first half was just bad. It was a lot of turnovers and just a lot of sloppy playing. And if you've paid attention, they kind of I've never seen that so far in this season with this. I've never seen that type of performance for Buffalo this season. If you remember, Josh Allen threw the interception, Singletary fumble. Defensively, I thought Baltimore did all the right things. And then after that, just went nowhere. I thought also too getting some guys back was a couple things. Jordan Poyer came back, but at the same time they lost Isaiah McKenzie to a concussion, and then Jamison Crowder, he left with an ankle injury. So Poyer did a good job. He came in clutch, but at the end of the day, like Buffalo did all that when it came down to the necessary things. They won the game. Now, on Baltimore side, this is a team, and I'm prefacing my comments when I say this. I picked this team to win 12 games, and they're not showing it. I'm seeing a complete 180 from what it was last year, and it's all a foregone conclusion. I'm disappointed with what I've seen from this team so far. I understand it's week 4. It could be overreaction week, but to see the Ravens in the first half do so well, do all the right things, particularly on the defensive side, because defensively, the Ravens against the pass are just atrocious. You go into the first you go into halftime with a 17-point lead. You force turnovers, and that we had looked good. I mean, it's obvious that we're not finishing games. Like the fact that just before going into halftime, we allowed them to score on a 76-yard drive and then completely come out flat in the third quarter and then going 3 and out twice, turn the ball over, the interception, and then let Buffalo come back and tie the game. Like, and then if you paid attention in that Dolphins Raven recap, this is what I'm talking about in terms of leadership. Because once again, like the Ravens look like a deer in headlights. Because now, just when I'm thinking you're going to take the lead to win the game, and I'll get a little bit, and I'll get into that in a little bit. The game losing interception. You went down the field, 14 plays, 93 yards, and took damn near 10 minutes off the clock. And that was that was the key. That what lost us the game. And you couldn't finish. The fact that you just couldn't just take the 3 points and just have Justin Tucker just take the 3 points, because as much as I love John Harbaugh and I have respect for him, this analytics is BS. Let me just get that out the way. It is true BS. I think it's the worst thing that's happened to sports because, and I just think that this is what he said, and I quote: "I felt like it gave us the best chance to win the game because 7 points, the worst that happens if you go down the field and score, I think we'll get them stopped. But if they go down the field and score a touchdown, the worst thing that can happen is you're in overtime. But you kick a field goal there, now it's not a 3-down game anymore. It's a 4-down game. You're putting your defense at a disadvantage because you've got 4 downs to convert all the way down the field and a chance to score against 7, and then you lose the game."
Bullshit.
I don't want to hear that. You know what that says right there? You have absolutely no faith in your defense. That is a fact. He does not trust his defense. And for the most part, I will say this. There were snippets of they played okay. But I've seen the same decision. Like I'll use the example last year. We played the Green Bay Packers here. The defense did its job, but it came down to the last play. Just didn't execute. Like I've never seen Harbaugh take this kind of a risk with Flacco than I've seen with Lamar. And if we're going to take these risks, we got to execute. It's plain and simple. Like I thought the defense is not all to blame, but the second half they weren't doing a lot of favors for themselves. I mean, they allowed Buffalo to score on 3 of their 4 second half possessions. Buffalo was not great at running the football at all. And again, you took 10 as an offense. We took 10 minutes off the clock. But guess what? Analytically, if we're going to go by what he said, then you should have let them score with about a minute and some change left. Because analytically, hey, just let them take the 7 points and we'll take our chances of trying to win the game. Didn't see that. And that's what I mean in terms of leadership. And the Marcus Peters thing and John Harbaugh and them going at it on the sideline, that's nothing new. Every team does that. I just think it was just frustrations mounted over, and I'm pretty sure that they cooled off. But if we don't get it together, if we have this kind of decision making, that's going to haunt the Ravens. I picked this team to win 12 games. Right now, they're looking like a 9-10 win team, wild card, easily. That Raven, the way what I'm seeing right now in just 4 games, and I know we got more football to go. I've got concerns because if we're not going to execute, we got to execute down the stretch. That matters. We got to finish games because we completely just took our foot off the gas. That's number one. Offense showed flashes of what it can be, but it was interesting. If I like that we contained Buffalo to just 23 points. Like, you would think, oh, that could help Baltimore win the game easily, but it doesn't help when you're not scoring points, particularly going into the second quarter. That is not going to win you basketball. That's not going to win you football games.
I want you to. I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
You're going to hear me say this when I recap the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Baltimore Ravens are their own worst enemy. And I'm going to tell you why. Even though offensively, this offense has flashes of what it can be, I thought Sunday defensively for the first half, that's what I was looking for in the defense. The first, I'll say week 2, week 3, Offense was spectacular. As I stated, you got to be consistent. You got to finish games. Like, they had 13 rushing first downs. But also, too, so far in the season, I think they didn't do well in terms of passing first downs and passing yards. Like, I thought the first 3 games we did well winning the penalty battle. And then, again, even though and that referee crew, the lead ref, I think he's respected. I thought some of those calls were a little questionable, particularly the roughing the passer, because I thought that flag was thrown late because Josh Allen looked at him and said, "You're going to throw that," and I didn't see anything that instituted roughing the passer. That's just my opinion. But if you're being called 9 times for penalties, that means you're doing something wrong. And a few of them I thought were kind of petty. There was some pre-snap ones, like a false start in the center, which is rare. But again, it just seems like we're now, I look at these 4 games and you can easily make an argument and go, Baltimore could be 3-1 or 4-0. And like, Sunday marked our 5th straight home game loss. Like, last year, painfully, I watched them not make the playoffs. And it, like, I just don't know what the identity is with this Raven team. And it's interesting to see in all the 5 games, the 3 dating back to last year and now this year, we've lost all 5 games by 4 or less points. And they were decided on the last 5 minutes of the game. And I'm going to be honest, I got concerns going against Cincy, because if you can't get it together, figure this stuff out now, I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I gotta go look back at the tape again with this game, and I just gotta figure some things out. But I was extremely disappointed Sunday, because these are all simple fixes, but it's I just don't think trades or firing a coach is going to fix this issue. Didn't have Justin Houston out there. Marcus Peters is still, I think, shaking off the rust. You have Kyle Hamilton, who didn't get that many snaps. You signed JPP, who needs at least another week or 2 to get get more comfortable with the system. And again, you don't really truly have a pass rush, but at this point, I can say it's an easily a don't bend, don't break defense, and that's what they did. Now the running game, J.K. Dobbins looked good, 73 yards, 11 carries, 2 touchdowns. Justice Hill, who did suffer a hamstring injury, he did well, because now that he could be potentially out against Cincy, I now got to look at Mike Davis and Kenyon Drake, painfully, but I think they'll be okay. Now, Lamar, I think he did okay. He had the 2 interceptions, but I just think that just got to come down to just executing, and that's it. Got to finish. You've got to finish games. But John Harbaugh, man, I respect him as a head coach, but those comments, especially when you've now, and what's funny, and he keeps bringing up analytics, and if you understand, looks, these last 5 games should tell you, well, if we go for it, we're not successful on going for it on 4th down. Why not just take the 3 points? Because I'm surprised no one asked him that question. Well, coach, you brought up, it becomes a 4-down game, but we've seen you go for it and you lost now 5 home games in that 5 home games. Where does analytics tell you it's still workable? Please tell me that.
I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This is disgusting. It's disgraceful. It's embarrassing. And I'm ticked off. It don't make any sense. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And something needs to be done about it. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
With that being said, we are going to move into our last segment of the podcast.
Incoming message.
The encore.
Final message. I've always said that it is important to make sure you take care of yourself. I was listening to the Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. Shout out to Anthony Handy, Nick Rosario, and Delilah Crespo. And Nick said something that really resonated with me, and I'm going to kind of reiterate that. But I'm going to kind of spin it a little differently. You have to do what's best for you, what makes you happy, and you find your own happiness and pursue that, because it's your story. Don't let anyone else tell you what you can and can't do. If you have people that don't believe in you or just don't want to give you a chance, there's always another door. One door closes, another always opens. And I do think we need to spread more love and kindness to people around the world, because there's just a lot of hate, and we need to get back to just loving one another and just be good people. So just keep that in mind as the week progresses. Is what can I do, to be a better person day by day, because there are things that the devil will get you, but that is my final message for the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, be tuned in for future episodes. Thank you so much for being a part of Big Nate Sports Talk episode 6 of season 11. We are moving right along. We're trying to get these episodes out as best we can to you. We're about to go live in a couple minutes with this Washington Commanders versus Dallas Cowboys recap, but until then, I will catch you on the flip side. Please like, comment, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all had a great evening. Y'all have a good night. Stay up.
I'm going to reiterate my comments right here, right now. The clock is officially ticking. The honeymoon is over. Damn your feelings. Who gives a damn? You got a job to do. And the job ain't even a championship. It's to be respectable. And you can't even do that?
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.